Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I have a Jellycat themed nail tutorial for you. So I started off with a sketch and then went straight into doing the thumb. I did file and shape all the nails beforehand and we're going with an almond shape this time. I find it easiest to work with nails when they're attached to something else, so here I just used a bit of top coat to attach the blotting tool to the back of the nail, and then I just cured it for about 30 seconds or just until it doesn't move anymore. So we're just going to start with a base coat and get that all over the nail and then cure that for 60 seconds. Next we're going to do a nude coat, so just a nude colour of your choice, and then put it under for another 60 seconds. And then we're going to do one more nude coat and put it in for another 60 seconds. Okay, so it should look like this. And then because we're working with chrome now, if you do a matte top coat, cure that for 60 seconds. And then just dab it a little bit with some acetone on like a cotton pad. Together these are take off the shine and it'll make the chrome come off really easily where we want it to. So now for the French tip, we're going to start with the normal just thick brush just to get the polish on there, and then we're refining it more with a thin brush so that it's nice and crisp. So this is the result, and then we're going to cure it for 60 seconds. I've just realised I did make a mistake. You don't need to do that top coat first layer, but I kept it in there just so you can see the processes. So instead you could just start with a black coat like this, again using the same processes, and then add a top coat and in between the coats curing for 60 seconds. So then once the top coat is also cured for 60 seconds, just taking a bit of silver chrome and rubbing it all over. If you want, you could do another coat of it, but I think it was fine. Now we brush off the excess bits with a brush and then start on the top coat. So I work from the normal gel polish up to the chrome just so that if there is that excess bit, it's not rubbed over the nude polish. And just like that, we can start moulding the first Jellycat. So this one's a moon, and I usually build up the amount of gel, so this won't be, you can see here I'm building it up, but it's not going to be the final amount that's on the nail. It just takes a lot of kind of patting it down, blending it, adding more, taking bits off until you get the shape that you want. This specific gel is a builder gel, and I just got mine from Amazon. It's just a lot thicker and just helps you have 3D patterns. Okay, so once you're finally happy with it, you can add a white coat, and using the thinner brush, just getting all the little intricate bits that you would have missed with a thicker brush, and then curing it for 60 seconds. I did one more coat just to make sure it's fully covered. Cure for 60 seconds, and now we're adding the feet. So I started off with little balls of the builder gel and just kind of patted them down into like an oval shape. Repeat for the other foot. When you're happy, cure for 60 seconds and then you're ready to paint. So I used a chocolatey light brown for the feet. And again, I just kind of applied it with the really thin brush to get all the little details. I cured that for 60 seconds and then did the face. So I often use the cuticle cutter for little tiny points for other things that are just it ends up being too big, like the blotting tool. I find this is really good with detail. I added the smile with the tiny brush and then just some lines to make it look like a pillow in really light grey, and then I cured that, added the top coat and was finished. So moving on to the second nail, which is the index finger, we're going to start with a base coat again and then curing that for 60 seconds, then adding a nude coat, curing that for 60 seconds, and then adding one more coat and curing it for 60 seconds. Now we're ready for the French tip. So it's the same process as before, just in white. Perfect, so once it looks like this, we can add the matte coat because we're going to be using more chrome. Wipe over with some acetone. And then just add some little balls of some clear builder gel. You've got a little bit of freedom about where you want them, but I just went with 3 below and then 2 above. So cure them for 60 seconds and then just over the top of them add some clear top coat and then just make sure it's fully covered with a thin brush. Don't get it on the matte coat, otherwise when you put the chrome on it will stick to there as well and then it just doesn't look quite as clean. So cure that for 60 seconds and then rub some chrome silver on. Brush off the excess and then you can add your top coat. And then you've done your second nail, woo! So now we can move on to the middle finger. Just start with a base coat, and this one I'm annoyed because I didn't realise I hadn't pressed record. Don't worry though, I do a very similar nail later on, but I'm just showing you the technique. So just using some top coat and applying some curved lines all over the nail, and it should look like this. Cure for 60 seconds and then you can add a black coat. This is what it'll look like, and then cure, add a top coat and cure again. Okay, so now we can add the chrome. Just really rub it in between all the bumps on the nail, and again you might want to do a second coat. I can't remember if I did or didn't, but wipe off all the excess with the brush, and this is what you're left with. Add a top coat, cure it, and then you're done. 3 fingers down and we're onto the ring finger. So again we're going to start off with a base coat and now a white coat, but this one I kind of added a little bit of brown just so it's not quite as harsh and it's got a warmer tone kind of feel to it. I then added some polka dots in light brown. Now we get to add another Jellycat. So this one's a Marshmallow. Again, just starting off with a ball of the builder gel and just kind of patting it down into a square and then kind of making the surface so it's a bit more curved and not just like literally a cuboid or like a rectangle or something, but just patting it down, making it more like a cylinder and curing it for 60 seconds. Now we're adding the white, just getting the sides with the little brush again and then curing it for 60 seconds. Once you've got its little face done, we can add the little the little legs. I kind of press down towards the top of them so that like the bottom, this is quite hard to explain, the bottom of the mini cylinder kind of flicks up so they look like feet. I don't know if you get that or not. If you don't, just kind of do what feels right. Cure it for 60 seconds and then you can paint them again. Now we can add a top coat and cure for 60 seconds and you've done it, woo! So it's the pinky finger we're doing now. Just start again with a base coat, cure it for 60 seconds, nude coat, cure for 60 seconds, another coat, and then cure that for 60 seconds and you've got the bases done. We're going to add a French tip again, so the same process as before with the white. We have done this nail before, so you can kind of get what you're supposed to do, but we're just adding the balls on with the builder gel. And then just top coat, and then because I didn't do a matte coat first on this one, you've just got to be a bit more careful with applying the chrome, just making sure that it doesn't rub off on any other part of the nail. Curing it for 60 seconds and you're done. Okay, so in the next thumbnail we're going to do, just add base coat, 2 coats of nude gel, and then cure them in between. Again, going for a French tip, so white with making it more detailed with the thin brush, curing that, and I'm going to add a little pastry Jellycat on the top, building that up, kind of patting it down, and then just adding lines where there'd be different rolls of pastry, and then curing when you're done. Don't be fooled, this can take a long time. I think I've got 7 minutes of footage just making that pastry. But anyway, yeah, cure and then add a little coat of kind of more of a yellowy brown for the pastry, adding the little legs like before. curing them, and then maybe adding a bit more for the feet. And then again, once you're happy, adding a coat of that same light brown colour used for the other Jellycat's feet, and then curing that, and you're done with the base coat for the pastry. Okay, so once you've done the face, this is what it should look like, and then you're ready to do a top coat. Onto the index finger again, and you know the drill: base coat, 2 nude coats, a white French tip, and then some builder gel for the balls, adding top coat on top of the little balls, and then adding chrome, and then another top coat, curing it, and you're done. Okay, next up is the middle finger, a layer of base coat, and again with the slightly kind of toned down white, which has been mixed with a bit of brown, adding the polka dots like before, and then curing and adding marshmallow in builder gel, lots of patting down until you're happy with the shape, and then curing again. So this time we're going to go for a little baby pink. If you haven't seen the duo of Jellycats where there's a pink and a white marshmallow, you need to look at them because they're actually adorable. Yeah, and curing them and then giving them little legs and a face. I don't think I mentioned, but I also gave it some rosy cheeks just under the eyes, and then I finished it off with a top coat, and then that's the nail done. Okay, so again, now we're onto the ring finger. Base coat, 2 coats of nude gel, and then a black French tip like before. Now add a matte coat and then curing that for 60 seconds, and then adding on top of the black French tip a top coat, curing that, and adding some chrome. Seal the nail with a top coat, and then we're ready to add some builder gel. So we're going to use 2 quite big balls of builder gel and just place them on. It can be a bit slippy because of the top coat underneath, but just kind of keep patting and you'll get there. And then when you're happy with them, cure it, and we can add some white coat as well. Okay, once you're finished with the details, add some top coat, cure, and it'll look like this. Okay, so last nail is a base coat, and then we're going to go with a full white coat. I do another coat of that and cure them all. Once you're finished, do a top coat and cure that. This one we're going to use a different kind of chrome powder, so it's like a shiny white one, and we're just going to apply that to the full length of the nail. Next we're going to use some 3D gel. This is like halfway point between the consistency of the builder gel and just normal gel polish, and just add like a ball of that to the top and kind of gently drag it along the width of the nail in like a curved pattern like before. Do that throughout the whole nail and kind of have it so that the tails finish at a similar point, almost like half a flower. And then cure that for 60 seconds, add some more chrome powder over all of it, add a top coat, just use the same brush to wipe off the excess, and then cure that and you finish the nail. Okay, so if you manage to finish the set, this is what you should be left with, and well done, honestly, well done, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll be coming out with another video soon. Yes, so thank you, have a great rest of your day, and enjoy your new nail set.